My social justice project was focused on the issues regarding healthcare, specifically with veterans. Healthcare, despite its numerous benefits, has become a growing issue within society. Across the globe, in all forms of medical care, proper healthcare has become difficult to find. From unnecessary care, avoidable harm to patients, and skyrocketing expenses, conflicts throughout the American healthcare system are always up for debate. From low-income families, veterans, and those who are ineligible for receiving healthcare benefits, this has become a growing issue for everyone. Many times, veterans are forgotten and left on the sidelines when they return home. Veterans are human, therefore they have human dignity, and when they are forgotten within society, their dignity is compromised. My service site helps to reinforce and offer them the respect all people, especially those who risk their lives for their country, deserve. I was honored to be a helping hand alongside this health institution in carrying out and providing these people with opportunities that allow them to live a full and happy life. The site that I chose to complete my community service at is the VA hospital in Brooklyn, New York. The VA originated during the Civil War and opened in 1928 and has a mission to serve and honor the men and women who are America's veterans. The VA is a hospital that provides healthcare services to military veterans at the VA medical centers and outpatient clinics. They follow 5 core values at the VA hospital. These include integrity, commitment, advocacy, respect, and excellence. This site addresses the issue of healthcare because it is a medical center that provides healthcare to veterans who are often rejected by other hospitals. My job at the VA consisted of changing the bedding for the patients and preparing meals in the cafeteria. Although my job wasn't major, I truly believe that the smallest help goes a long way. My small jobs there contributed to the overall environment, work effort, and therefore contributed to the VA's values. There are many principles within the Catholic faith in which all people are called to follow or live out as best they can throughout their lives. The 7 themes of Catholic social teaching include life and dignity of the human person, preferential option for the poor and vulnerable, dignity of work and the rights of workers, calls to family, community, and participation, solidarity, care for creation, and rights and responsibility. Life and dignity of the human person is one of the 7 main themes in Catholic social teaching. This principle, as well as all the principles, speak directly to all people within society. No matter gender, age, race, or belief, all are included because everyone is created in God's image and likeness and are therefore all sacred or have the sanctity of life. Included in all people is inherent dignity. Dignity is defined as a state or quality of being worthy of honor or respect. This trait is God-given and therefore cannot be earned or taken away. It reinforces the idea that all people are children of God, part of a bigger plan, and have value or worth. The idea that all people possess dignity means that all are worthy of respect and protection. This connects to my service at the VA because even the smallest of tasks carried out at the hospital helps reach the goal and value of the VA to treat the patients with dignity and respect. Another principle of Catholic social justice teaching is the preferential option for the poor and the vulnerable. This theme is described as the importance of putting the needs of the poor and the vulnerable first because they are considered to be in most need of assistance. To be vulnerable means to be in need or to be susceptible to pain or fearful, unsafe situations. Vulnerability is found in those who are in need within a community. This includes the impoverished, the marginalized. In this context of this principle, preferential option means to address an immediate need and look at it in the perspective of the poor. God calls on us to help these people because it is not an option or choice to be poor. We must have a preferential option for the poor because people are made poor by others and by the systems and structures of society. This theme relates to my service site because veterans in need of health care often are considered poor, so it is without question that the VA is addressing this value. The dignity of work and the rights of workers is the main theme of Catholic social teaching. In short, it refers to the concept that work exists for people, people do not exist for work. Our contribution to the working community means more than just making a living. A working person is continuing participation in God's creation. It reinforces the idea that all people are children of God, part of a bigger plan, and have value or worth. The idea that all people possess dignity means all are worthy of respect and protection. This refers to the concept of fairness and justice within the workplace because all people deserve basic human and working rights. This includes the right to productive work, to decent and fair wages, to the organization and joining of unions, to private property, and to the economic initiative. This relates to my service at the VA because the rights of workers are reflected in each employee and volunteer working there. Another major theme of Catholic social teaching is the call to family, community, and participation. Wherewith life and dignity of the human person was in respect to the idea that every person has dignity, this principle reinforces the idea that we are all sacred beings because all people are children of God. Our ability to live in a community and care for one another directly correlates to this theme. The main idea of this principle is to encourage all people to support and help one another to grow into respectfully thankful and giving individuals. God calls on all people to help and give to one another, especially those in need. This relates to my service because every employee and volunteer is called to care for the patients who are the veterans of our community. Solidarity is unity or agreement of feeling or action among individuals who share common interests or support. At its core, solidarity has an underlying meaning of connection. Solidarity is also deeply rooted in the ability to show or express compassion for others. It is a commitment to health, happiness, and fortunes of others. The core of solidarity is to promote justice and peace. The principles of solidarity call us to be peacemakers, to care for our brothers and sisters of the world in time of crisis. This is what God asks of us in terms of solidarity and unity. Solidarity was reflected in my service because the values of the VA are rooted in peacemaking. Since I volunteered there, I contributed to this idea of peacemaking for the hospital community. Pope Francis once said, "Creation is a gift. It is a wonderful gift that God has given us, so that we care for it and we use it for the benefit of all, always with great respect and gratitude." Humans play the most important role in caring for God's creation. God's goodness is seen in creation, and as we are God's children, we must do everything we can to protect it. We become stewards for God. Being a steward, we take care of something as our own. Being a steward of God's creation requires us to live so that we can protect the environment. We are called to be stewards for the earth by taking care of it and being aware of environmental issues. We are called to keep God's creation sacred. This relates to my service at the VA because it is a job to help aid in protecting God's creation, the people within our community, specifically the veterans in need of medical attention. This principle is different than the others because it is reciprocal, meaning it goes both ways. We have a responsibility to others and the common good, so they have the same responsibility towards us. Therefore, we are responsible for upholding these rights, but so is everyone else. As citizens of the world, we must serve one another, and to do so, we must search locally and globally for those in need. This relates to my service because we work to help the patients. It is a way in which I can help maintain the common good and do my part as serving others. While volunteering at the VA, I interviewed a nurse named Lisa. I met her on the second week of volunteering, and when I explained to her my project, she was intrigued right away. Being Catholic as well, I asked her if her faith had any influence on her decision to become a nurse. She responded by telling me, "I always knew I wanted to help people. I wasn't sure who, but I knew that is what I wanted to do. When the hospital offered me a position, I was certain that nursing would be a great way to live out my faith." Some of the greatest lessons I learned while volunteering was to be patient. Good things come to those who wait. To enjoy the little things, because if you don't, you will never truly be able to appreciate everything the world has to offer. And lastly, volunteering at the VA has helped my confidence grow tremendously.